Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Paige Evans design team, and I'm going to be using the new Pick Me Up collection. And I have picked out all the papers that I'm going to sort of go through to use on this layout. And I'm also going to start with one of Paige's cut files, and it's called Flower Large. And I've already cut it on some white cardstock here, and I blew it up really big. I had an idea in my mind, and it actually turned out like I wanted it to, but I took the long road to get there, I guess you could say. So what my thought was is I wanted to use all those inner pieces and paper piece those onto my background using different pattern papers. So that means I'm going to take each of those pieces that are left from the inside of that flower, and I'm going to trace each one on some pattern paper and then cut it out and sort of like a puzzle piece it back together inside of the cut file. But I don't want to use the actual outline of the cut file. I just want to use the pieces in the shape of the flower on my background. Does that make sense? You'll see what I'm talking about as I go. So I'd never done this technique before, especially one with so many pieces. So what I'm going to do is trace each one and then kind of stick it back into the cut file so I know where each piece goes. So if you like paper piecing and you like puzzles, well, this is a fun technique. It did take me a while, and there probably is an easier and faster way to do this, but I actually liked that it took me a while. It was fun to do this, even though it kind of stressed my brain out a few times because I thought, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Why did I do that? It still was fun to do, and for me, that's a lot of why I love scrapbooking. It's the process, and it's coming up with ideas and trying something different, and I love how this page turns out, and I hope you do too. So that's kind of what it's going to look like at this point. Nothing is glued down. It's just kind of sitting there inside the cut file. And I'm going to use white cardstock as my background. And for my design, well, I'll show you that in just a second. Let me do my gesso first. This is clear gesso, and I know I'm going to do some watercoloring and painting on the background. And I want to do a little bit of smudging and blending. I think I do at this point. And so if I'm going to do any kind of smudging or blending, I'm going to add gesso first because that's going to allow the paint to really blend and smudge a lot easier and a lot better. And that's also going to thicken up the paper. Even though this is pretty thick cardstock, the fact that I'm using the packaging technique and then spraying extra water on top of it, you know, the gesso really helps to protect the paper, and it allows for all this water, and it holds it and tolerates it really well. So these are some shimmers. I'm just using a couple of different colors of the sprays. I think I'm mixing Sweetheart with Pink Moscato here. It's a deeper, almost like a wine color pink, and a lot of this is going to get covered up, and so I kind of think I'm going to do a half and half layout, and you're probably thinking, what is that? I want to cut the flower in half and run it off the page on each side, and so you're only going to see some of this pink. But I want the pink and the white background to sort of show through all of those pieces of the flower. Now this is gold. I love how this turns out. The pink is still wet, and so I'm going to splatter in some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, and I just love how it sort of spreads out and blends with the pink. It's so pretty. Okay, so here's where I start to kind of go cuckoo in my brain. I thought I could do it this way. Yeah, it's not going to work. It does not look anything like the cut file. So what I'm going to do is put it all back, and then I'm going to attempt to take the white piece off, and that's not going to work. So here's what happens. I just dumped it all out and thought, okay, great. Now where am I going to get all those shapes back? There's no way it's going to happen. Then I tried to cut it in half. Didn't work. It started to bunch up in my paper trimmer. So I'm going to just cut it by hand, and then some of the pieces come loose in the middle. And I'm thinking, this is a disaster. What am I doing? This is kind of the design I want. This is what I meant by half and half. I want to cut it in half and do half going off the page on the right and half going off the page on the left, and sort of put my picture in the middle. So now I'm going to try to paper piece it again this way. And I just realized that I'm going to have to take each piece and sort of figure out where it goes. And this, I thought I would never get this done. I thought this is a mess. But I actually figure it all out, and I get them all stuck back where they belong. And then I realize that some of the pieces that are going off the page are continued on the end of the other side. And so I'm thinking some of the pieces are missing, but then I'm like, oh, nope, I've got to cut this end off and stick it on this end. So I think I have it. And before I move anything, I'm going to glue it down. Now, I'm not gluing the white outline down. I'm just gluing down the inner pieces. And this is going to allow me to have those exactly where they're supposed to go. And then I can peel up or pull up the white part. And I wanted to try to save the actual cut file. But yeah, it goes in the trash because it gets all ripped up. So I used some plain old cheap white cardstock to cut it anyway, because I knew I was going to just do it for this purpose here. So now I've got it glued down and I'm peeling it up, and that is how I wanted it to look. So yeah, it took me a while to kind of get there. And yeah, you're probably yelling at me going, you dummy, there's an easier way to do that. I didn't want to cut the flower a bazillion times on each different pattern paper. So yeah, you know, I didn't mind the tracing and the cutting. It was actually fun. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those labor of love layouts that took a while, and I love how it turned out. And it actually gets better once I start adding things to it. So the flowers are done, and I love how this creates this background here. I think it's really pretty, and I love the pink. But I decided it's a little too pink, so I'm going to go back over some of it with the white gesso this time and my palette knife and just sort of blend some of it out so it's not so dark. Because now that I've got all that paper on there, there's a lot of pink going on already. And here's where I got even more crazy. I needed to do some stitching, and I almost hand stitched all this, and then I thought I do not have time to do that right now, so I'm going to machine stitch it. So I very carefully and very slowly, with my little trusty sewing machine and my metallic gold thread, stitched through each of those areas. And I love how that looks. So here's my picture. I think it's adorable. It's of Paige, and she's sitting down at the pool. This is from a few summers ago, and she was just laughing and giggling, and I love how she has her hand up by her mouth and her eyes are closed. She just looks so cute. And I made this picture a little bit bigger. It's definitely not 4x6, but it's bigger than you know, the usual 3x4 type size that I use, because I just wanted to focus on one picture sort of in the middle of these flowers. And so now I'm going to work on layering and embellishing, and these are all papers that I used in the flowers, and I used a ton of the 12x12 papers. So I'm going to have all of those papers listed on the blog post over on Paige's blog. So if you want to see which individual papers I used, I'll have those listed. So I added a little bit of yellow behind the picture and some adhesive foam and a little bit of tissue paper. And then I'm going to work on embellishing. I'm going to use that little ha-ha speech bubble because she's laughing, and I think it's the perfect color. And then I'm going to add a couple of die cuts. These are from the Ephemera die cut pack, all from Pick Me Up. I did trace around the one die cut. You just saw me doing that. I just wanted to get rid of the white outline so it matched the other floral cluster that I tucked underneath there. These are the chipboard stickers. Very cute. And, you know, I go through a lot of trying this here and trying that there, and just kind of seeing what works. My problem with this phase of this design is that I didn't want to get it too busy because I've got all that pattern going on and all that color. I didn't want to overdo it. And so many things that I tried, I thought, oh, that just kind of makes it look too busy, And so I kind of have to get really picky here. Now, these are the rub-ons, and they are awesome. They rubbed on so great, very smooth, no problems at all. And I love these flowers. So I'm going to add a couple of flowers down here at the bottom. And the thing about rub-ons, you know, once you rub them on, they are there. And so if you are afraid to do that right onto your background, you can rub them on some white cardstock or some vellum and then cut them out. and you can use them as embellishments, and that way you can move them around and they're not permanent on the background. But if you know for a fact that that's where it's going to go, it works really well. And I even did this on top of the gesso and the watercolor, and it went on smoothly. So I want to add a little bit more of a pop of that darker blue. It's not royal blue, but it's not navy blue. It's sort of a cross in between. It's so pretty and rich. And so I'm going to add a little bit of blue thread over to the left just to kind of echo that color. And then just kind of keep moving things around. I'm going to start to glue things. That little "You Amaze Me" sticker at the bottom, that is from the sticker sheet. There is an actual just good old-fashioned stickers in this collection. They're kind of, I guess, cardstock thickness. And this is an ephemera die cut. I wanted to use it somewhere. It says Laughter, and it's gold foil. I just wasn't sure where I wanted it to go. At this point, I felt like I have enough overlapping on top of the picture. I've got the ha-ha bubble, and then I've got the flowers. And so I felt like if I added more on top of the picture at the bottom, it's just starting to crowd the picture. I do love to layer things on top of my pictures when there's open space and it doesn't distract or take away. But yeah, I'm going to move Laughter. It's just, to me, it's too busy right there. So I'm adding more thread at the top, which I'm going to move later, and some more rub-ons. And I took away that "You Amaze Me" sticker for now, and I decided to play with the washi tape. And just like in the previous collection, this is a, I think it's 6x12 washi tape book, and there are 3 sheets of different washi tape. And that one is sort of a minty teal light green color with gold stripes. And I'm still trying to figure out where to put Laughter. It's going to go somewhere. There's puffy stickers. These are the stickers I was just talking about. So you get front and back, or if you open it, it's 12x12. There's little phrases, there's picture frames, there's words that could be great titles, different fonts, flowers, all kinds of cute things. I definitely wanted to use that "You Amaze Me." I love the color. I think it's the perfect color for that area. And then I'm going to wind up putting Laughter right under it. And I like that much better than overlapping the picture, because I just feel like it's got enough on it right now. And I'm tilting the photo on purpose. I don't want it perfectly straight, because nothing in our life is perfectly straight. We're always messy and crazy over here. I think that's why I like making messy backgrounds, because our life is crazy and messy all the time. And so usually my pictures are crooked. Sometimes they're straight, but I like them crooked. So now I'm going to make sure everything is glued down. I'm going to glue down the Laughter die cut. And it's a little bit crooked too. And then I move the pink thread over to the right. That is from the puffy stickers. It's a gorgeous little floral cluster. The colors in this collection are so deep and rich and bold. I love them. And you can see here how pretty they look together. A little bit of journaling right underneath the title there. And then I'm going to add in some more gold color shine. And I love how it looks on top of the darker blue paper. It just shines immediately. It looks so pretty. And then I'm going to go back in with the rub-ons. There's teeny tiny flowers on the rub-on sticker sheet, or not the sticker sheet, the rub-on sheet. So I'm going to just add in a couple of those and some more little puffy flowers. And that's the final layout. I love how this turned out, even though it took me forever to finally figure out how to paper piece that flower back together. Hey, it may have taken the long road around, but I like how it turned out. There you can see the stitching and the really pretty colors and the dimension and the layers and all of the pretty things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really fun to make, even though it had its stressful moments. Definitely check out this collection. It's perfect for so many things. It's very versatile, as all of Paige's collections, and the colors are great, the patterns are great. I just can't wait to make more things with it. It's so pretty. So let me know if you have any questions about any of the products or the techniques or anything at all, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.